All right, welcome to our lesson over graphing lines. So the first thing that we're going to do is learn how to identify coordinate pairs. Now, when we graph points or identify points, we need a coordinate pair. Now, remember, the horizontal line is the x-axis, and then the vertical line is our y-axis. The x-coordinate moves things left or right, and the y-coordinate moves things up and down. So we need to start from the origin, and then we are going to count left or right first, and then up or down right after. I'm going to look at number 1. It's telling me to find A or point A. So first off, I need to start at the origin. That's 0, 0. And then I'm going to start counting. So I'm going to go to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's -7. And then I'm going to go down. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's -5. So this point is -7, comma, -5. Now notice that I am writing my x first, then y. That is how you're supposed to write your coordinate pair. It's in the form x, comma, y. Now coordinate pair is another way of saying ordered pair. Now, if I said ordered pair, I mean coordinate pair. Or if I mean coordinate pair, I mean ordered pair. So it basically means the same thing. So going back to number 1, we said that point A as an ordered pair is -7, comma, -5. All right. So let's take a look at number 2. Let's find point B. So starting from the origin, I'm going to go to the right. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I went to the right 3, so that's +3, and then I'm going down 5, so that's -5. So that as an ordered pair or a coordinate pair in the form x, comma, y, that is +3, comma, -5. So let's take a look at point C for number 3. It's located right here. So I'm starting from the origin. I don't need to move left or right, but in order for me to get to C, I need to go down 3. So that is -3 for the y. So your answer is 0, comma, -3. So now I'm going to go quicker. So number 4, D is 7, comma, 5. E is -2, comma, 1. And F is 9, comma, 0. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to graph a line. So there are 3 ways to graph a line. So we can graph a line by having 2 points, or a point and a slope, or a y-intercept and a slope. So we'll talk about slope, we'll talk about y-intercepts later, but right now we're going to go ahead and focus on graphing a line by 2 points. So I'm looking at 7. It says I have 2, comma, 0 and 4, comma, -2. So 2, comma, 0. Remember, ordered pair is in the form x, comma, y. So 2, comma, 0. So this is x first, then y. And then for 4, comma, -2, x first, then y. Okay, so 2, comma, 0, I can go ahead and find that on my graph. It's located right here. And then 4, comma, -2. So it's +4. And then I need to go down 2 here. So I have my 2 points, and I'm going to draw a line through them, like this. And then when I'm drawing my line, I need to make sure that I have these arrows to show the reader that this line extends forever in both directions. Number 8, we have 0, comma, -5 and -2, comma, 1. So x first, then y, and we have x, then y. So 0, comma, -5 is located right here, and -2, comma, 1 should be right here. So with these 2 points, I can draw a line through them, just like so. So one thing that I want to go ahead and talk about are, 1, we have an x-intercept, and the second one is the y-intercept. Now, by looking at this graph, we can see that this line touches the x-axis at one particular point, right here. So this thing, what I'm highlighting right now, that is what we call the x-intercept. It's where the line crosses the x-axis. Okay, so if you don't remember, this is your x-axis, this is your y. So this line will cross the x-axis. Now the x-intercept is in the form x comma 0. So when we look at 2 comma 0, we have an x value, and the y is 0. So whenever you have an x-intercept, you will have a x value, and the 0 will always be y. So if I'm looking at number 8, we have this graph, and we have this line. You can see that this line crosses the y-axis at this point. Now, whenever the line crosses the y-axis, we call that the y-intercept. So this is the y-intercept. And that point is 0 comma negative 5. So if I'm looking at 0 comma negative 5, we have a 0 and our y value. So it's always in the form 0 comma y. So we will always have a 0 for the x, but for the y, it can be any number. Okay? All right. So now let's go ahead and talk about slope. Now slope is the rise over run, which is the change in y over the change in x. The first thing that I want to mention is that when we represent slope, we use a lowercase m. And the formula for that is this. It's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is a very, very important formula that you need to know. So when we need to calculate the slope just by graphing, we can just calculate the rise over the run. So when we look at the rise, it's either up or down, and then the run is left or right. So let's take a look at this example here. So we're going to graph from a point and a slope. So here is my point, and this is my slope. So the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to plot 1 comma 1 on the graph. So 1 comma 1 is located right here on this graph. And then from that point, I'm going to rise over run. So let's take a look at m equals 2 over 3. Now, looking at that 2 in the numerator, it's a positive 2. So I need to go up 2, and then that run is that run 3. I'm going to go to the right 3. Okay? And I'm going to repeat this process every time I plot the point. So looking at my point right now, that 1 comma 1, I need to go up 2, right 3. So up 2, and then 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to plot my point right there. I'm going to use a different color. So I plot my point in blue, and I'm going to do that again. I'm going to go up 2, so 1, 2, and then the right 3. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to plot a point right there. And then let's try that again. I'm going to go up 2, 1, 2, and then right 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to put a blue point there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my original point, which is 1 comma 1, and I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to go down 2, left 3. So see that we did up 2 and then right 3. I'm going to go back to 1 comma 1 and do the opposite for the other direction. So I'm going to go down 2. So down 2, left 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then I'll put a point right there. And then I'm going to repeat the process. Down 2, right 3. 1, 2, 3. Down 2. Then 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay? So I'm pretty content with the points that I drew. I'm going to connect the dots, and that should be my line. All right, so now let's go ahead and look at number 10, and negative 2 comma 3 is the point that I'm going to start with. So negative 2 comma 3 should be located right here on this graph. Now the slope is negative 2. Now I can rewrite this as m equals negative 2 over 1. So let's go ahead and figure out the rise over run. I have negative 2 in the numerator. That implies that I'm going down. So I'm going down 2. And then I'm going to go right 1. So using that point, I'm going to go down 2. So down 2, right 1. Down 2, right 1. Down 2, right 1. Okay? And I'm going to do the opposite. So I'm going to start from the point that I was given and then go up to left 1. So up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1, and then the points I am content with. Now again, the dots that you see in red just shows you how to graph a line with a point and a slope. I don't want you to confuse yourself with these many points, so it's just best to just hover your writing utensil as you are counting, okay? All right, now let's take a look at the back side of today's notes. Now, you can also graph using a slope and y-intercept, which we talked about before. That is in the form slope-intercept form. Now, slope-intercept form allows you to find the slope and y-intercept by looking at an equation. Now, remember, the slope-intercept form is always y equals mx plus b. And we talked about this before. M represents the slope. So M represents the slope, and B, this is a new one, B represents the y-intercept. Now to graph, we plot the y-intercept first, and then use the slope to count the rise and run to the next point, which we did just a couple of minutes ago. So by looking at number 11, we have y equals 2x plus 1. Now, one thing that I like to do is write my y equals mx plus b right under the equation. So that way I can identify what the slope is and the y-intercept. So the first thing is, let's go ahead and figure out the y-intercept. Remember, we represent that as a lowercase b, so b, right? Now, that says 1. And remember, the y-intercept is always in the form 0, comma y. So in this case, the b is actually 0, comma 1. And then for the slope, we have 2, which implies that this is 2 over 1, right? So let me rewrite this. So m equals 2, or m equals 2 over 1. So let me go ahead and graph 0, comma 1, which is located right here. And then I'm going to rise over run given the slope that I have, which is 2 over 1. So I need to go up 2, right 1. So I'm going to go up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1, and then you're going to repeat the process, and then go back to the point, go back to the y-intercept, and do the opposite. So it's going to be down 2, left 1. So down 2, left 1, down 2, left 1. All right. Okay. Now with all of these points, I can draw a line through them and then finish this line with an arrow on both ends. Okay? Let's take a look at number 12 now. We have y equals negative 1 over 4x plus 2. Again, I like to write my y equals mx plus b under the equation. All right? So then we can identify what the slope and the y-intercept is. So the slope is negative 1 over 4, and the y-intercept is 2. So b is 0, comma 2, and my slope is m equals negative 1 over 4. So I'm going to go ahead and plot 0, comma 2, which is located right here on the graph. Notice that this point is touching the y-axis. And then looking at my slope here, we have negative 1 over 4. That's a fraction. That's great. So I need to go down. I need to go down 1, right 4. So I'm going to go down 1, right 4, down 1, right 4, and then go back to the y-intercept and do the opposite. So I'm going to go up 1, left 4. So up 1, left 4, up 1, left 4. And I'm pretty content with the points that I have here, so I'm going to draw a line, okay? So notice that since we have a positive slope, the graph is going to go in the positive direction, whereas a negative slope is going to make this graph go in the negative direction, okay? So use that to your advantage. Knowing what the slope is can help you give you a glimpse on what the graph may look like, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and talk about finding intercepts. You can also graph by finding the x and y intercepts. Now, remember we talked about x-intercepts and y-intercepts. Now, one more time, x-intercept just means where the line crosses the x-axis. We plug in 0 for y. To find the y-intercept, that just means where the line crosses the y-axis. We just plug in 0 for x. So an x-intercept is always in the form x comma 0. And then the y-intercept is in the form 0 comma y. Okay? Now let's take a look at number 13. It says find the intercepts and graph the line. So when I'm trying to find the x-intercept, all I need to do is plug in 0 for y. So plug in 0 for y. So I have x minus 2 times 0 equals 6. Okay, so x minus 2y equals 6. All I did was replace the y with 0. So now I can go ahead and simplify this. X minus 2 times 0 equals 6. So negative 2 times 0, that's 0. So this will go away, and you're left with x equals 6. So that is in the form 6 comma 0. Now we can go ahead and find the y-intercept, which just means plug in 0 for x. So I have 0 minus 2y equals 6. So I'm left with negative 2y equals 6. And then this is where I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. So I have y equals negative 3. So therefore, we have 0 comma negative 3. So let's graph the two intercepts. So 6 comma 0 should be located right here, and 0 comma negative 3 is right there. Now with these 2 points, I can go ahead and create my line like this. All right. Number 14, we have 2x plus 4y equals 8. So let's find the x-intercept, which just means plug in 0 for y. So we have 2x plus 4 times 0 equals 8. 4 times 0 is just 0, so you're left with 2x equals 8. Divide both sides by 2. X equals 4. So our x-intercept is in the form 4 comma 0. For the y-intercept, we just plug in 0 for x. So we have 2 times 0 plus 4y equals 8. Now 2 times 0 is just 0, so we're left with 4y equals 8. Now if you divide both sides by 4, y is equal to 2. So that is in the form 0 comma 2. So 4, comma 0 on the graph should be located right here. And then 0, comma 2 should be located right there. So I can go ahead and connect the dots, and that's your line. All right. Lastly, we're going to talk about graphing vertical and horizontal lines. Now, when you have y equals a number, you put a point on the y-axis and draw a horizontal line through the point. Whenever we have an x equals a number, you put a point on the x-axis and draw a vertical line through the point. So remember, a horizontal line looks like this. It's left and right, and a vertical line is up and down. So we have x equals -2. So we have x equals -2. Remember, we're going to put a point on the x-axis and draw a vertical line through that point. So I need to locate where x equals -2. So x equals -2 is located right here. And all I need to do is draw a vertical line, which means up and down. So through this point, I need to draw a vertical line like this. Okay. Number 16, we have y equals 7. So y equals 7. When we have y equals a number, we put a point on the y-axis and draw a horizontal line through the point. So we have y equals +7. I need to locate where that is on the y-axis. So here's 7, and remember, it needs to be a horizontal line. So through this point, I'm going to draw a horizontal line just like this. Okay? So that's how you draw. So that's how you graph vertical and horizontal lines.